Welcome to Llandow for the second round of the FAB-Racing Minibikes Championship. Let's take a look at what happened for round 2 of the AC40 Rookies. But it will be a very, very exciting race indeed. Lewis, who are you expecting in this race to be very, very strong?
Well, really, it's any of the top 5 or 6 riders that can fight for the victory, clearly. But I would say Sebastian GASLAWSKI, of course, starting in pole position, is definitely going to be one to look out for. Taylor Tomlinson, on the other hand, very, very, very close in lap times, with about 50 thousandths of a second separating the first 2 people in the front row. Logan COUZENS, of course, only 7 years old, racing the number 7. Maybe got some inspiration for his number from his age there, starting 3rd on the grid. Any rider really can make an impact on this race, and it's going to be great to see. Sebastian GASLAWSKI is going to want to get away and try to create a gap from Taylor Tomlinson straight away from the first lap, because qualifying there was nothing between them, and because of that they're not going to want to get caught up in the battle and potentially get more people into the mix.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's certainly going to be an interesting race to say the least. You know, as we now see the parents lining up exactly on their spots of where their children are. As we now see, I believe, here we go. Here come the children, and they make their way to the grid. And how this is going to work? They are going to come onto the grid of these racers, and it's going to be a very, very exciting race indeed. So what's going to happen is these racers are staying here and then going out for a formation lap, and then, Lewis, then it's lights out for the first race of this weekend.
Yes, everyone here is excited for this. We've been waiting multiple weeks for racing at FAB to return. Round 1, it was great racing here in the Rookies Championship. GASLAWSKI is going to be wanting to try and get off pole position as fast as they can. As you see, all the parents are lining up on the grid to be able to show their childs, which some of them may only be the 2nd, 3rd, 4th race of their life in total. They're showing them where to line up and giving them a friendly face really to look at as they go out on their warm-up laps, because we're just waiting to be released on. Nerves are starting to build, tension is certainly rising here, not only on the grid but up in here in the commentary box. Everyone's getting slightly nervous to see the Union Jack in someone's motorhome as the riders are now away on their warm-up lap for the grid. The grid for this race will be Sebastian GASLAWSKI on pole position, with Taylor Tomlinson in 2nd, Logan COUZENS 3rd, Seth HAYWARD in 4th, Tyler Hartley in 5th, Preston BAKER starts in 6th position, Archie HOOPER 7th, Nicolas DUNWOODY in 8th, Josh PERKINS 9th, HAWKEN in 10th to round the top 10. Annabelle McCARTHY starts 11th, Max Johnson 12th, Matthew Jennings 13th, Caelan RATCLIFFE in 14th, Jenson in 15th, Daisley POLDEN in 16th, Peyton RICHARDS 17th, Jenson SEDRAS 18th, Oliver Wilson 19th, Dani Longhurst 20th, and Freddy TAYLOR in 21st to round off the grid for this race. As we wait for the riders lining up after their warm-up lap, they're going to be looking towards the lights. Their parents are telling them, look at the lights, wait till they go out, do not jump the start, is what they'll be telling them. The riders are very, very nervous right now. We're just waiting for the final rider to make his way around the final corner, so then he can start their first race of the weekend, the first race of here at Llandow for 2022. If you're watching at home, who are you supporting? Tell us, leave a comment down below, tell us who you're supporting for the series, who you want to win. Let us know. We're just waiting for the final couple of riders to line up on the grid slot. Everyone in this class, of course, being a rookie, everyone's class is learning. It's such a great class to be able to watch as we see the final rider just making his way there onto his grid slot. Final little pep talk before they all get told to look to the lights when we get racing. Our first race of the weekend here at Llandow. As we wait for the lights, wait for the marshal to get off the grid. As we wait for the lights to go on, Here we go racing at Llandow. Lights are on, lights are out, and we are racing here at Llandow. GASLAWSKI gets a slightly slower start, and it looks like Tomlinson will lead the way heading into the first chicane. Tomlinson and GASLAWSKI already made a significant gap between third place. They're going to want to push as hard as they can straight away up this first lap. Sebastian GASLAWSKI is in second place, chasing Taylor Lawrence, which leads the way. What an incredible start there from Taylor Lawrence.
Yeah, absolutely incredible start there. A really cool start there. You know, a very almost jam-packed, obviously, as we know. GASLAWSKI didn't have a start like he wanted, but that doesn't matter, because it's not the start. It's not the start that matters. It's how you finish that counts. As we see them just making their way onto the Spitfire straight, about 3/4 of their lap through. Well, 3/4 of the way through their first lap, as we now see them coming round the final corner, and it's going to be I believe it is Taylor Thompson who leads the way away from Sebastian GASLAWSKI. Seth HAYWARD is in third, Logan COUZENS in P4, who loses a position there. Preston BAKER P5, Archie HOOPER P6, Josh Perkins P7, DUNWOODY P8, HARTLEY P9, and HAWKEN P10 rounds out the top 10. A very interesting start. Not the start, as I said, that GASLAWSKI wanted.
No, it's certainly not, but GASLAWSKI is not stopping there. He's trying to pile as much pressure on Taylor Tomlinson, as possible. He's trying to make him make a mistake, force him slightly wide, so he can just peek his front wheel through, and past he will go. But as we head on to the back straight now, Sebastian GASLAWSKI still in second place. He is trying as hard as he can, tuck in as deep as he can. They go side by side into the final corner. GASLAWSKI looks like this out. He backs up at last minute. That's going to affect his drive going past the start finish line. But that will not stop him. He is pushed as hard as he can. Sebastian GASLAWSKI looking to overtake Taylor Tomlinson once again, but he cannot make it work as we come up to back markers already. But luckily they're out the way. They will not affect this race that we have going on here. Taylor Tomlinson still leads the way. Sebastian GASLAWSKI pushed as hard as he can. You can see the bike shaking and vibrating as they go around the corner. He's pushing as hard as he can. The bike is on its absolute limit for these front riders here. Taylor Tomlinson still leads the way. It looks like a slightly larger gap between the two riders, but that will not hinder Sebastian GASLAWSKI. It will just make him try even harder to reduce the gap, and he will have the all-important slipstream heading down his back straight, which, as we know in racing, can make a massive difference. Absolutely.
About 1.5 tenths separates the top two of Tomlinson and GASLAWSKI. It's looking like a very good battle now, as on the inside, I believe that's GASLAWSKI taking the lead of the race. Is he going to be able to keep it? They go side by side over the start-finish straight. Is it going to be Tomlinson or GASLAWSKI that will take the lead? I believe that is GASLAWSKI that has taken the lead. He started from pole and he now retakes the lead of the race. But I say that, but these two are absolutely tooth and nail. It's absolutely sensational to see these two riders running so close and so respectfully. As we see now, they're coming through to the technical part of the track, this long sweeping right-hander onto this little straight here. But Tomlinson is not giving up, is he? He's really going for it, trying to get in the slipstream, trying to find any possible advantage on the back of GASLAWSKI. Can he make anything work? He comes round through this little chicane here onto the Spitfire straight. This is where the move was set up last lap. Can Tomlinson do anything to get on the inside of GASLAWSKI? They are trying very hard, but no, he's not that close this lap. But GASLAWSKI, if he can get a good exit here, but they are going side by side again. But no, GASLAWSKI will keep the lead of the race, but Tomlinson certainly is not giving up.
Yeah, Sebastian GASLAWSKI leads the way, but Taylor Tomlinson will want to try and get that advantage back. You can just see with all these other riders, I think it says Haywood, the other machine, Seth HAYWARD, just how different their lines are while riding. You see it in the front too, just because we're so close, you could visually see it. But whenever you compare each rider's lines going around this circuit, they're obviously all still learning, so they're all trying something new, which is just awesome to see for these rookies. It's just 4 laps to go in this race. GASLAWSKI still leads the way, we believe, and yeah, it's been a great race so far. We're just watching a few riders make it down the back straight, as we're watching GASLAWSKI still lead the way. It looks like a slightly larger gap from Taylor Tomlinson as they head around the final corner now, as these riders, number 15 Seth HAYWARD is in a battle with Logan COUZENS for third place, the final spot on the podium. That will mean so much to them, fighting for the podium positions right now. They will be pushing just as hard as Sebastian GASLAWSKI and Taylor Tomlinson will, although it is for a lower position. Every position, every point means everything in these lower in this championship, as we see Logan COUZENS taking a slightly tighter line through that section, as we see the front runners as well making their way through traffic, with Sebastian GASLAWSKI still leading the way, but it looks like Taylor Tomlinson is trying to set up a move. It looks like the gap's slightly lowered. He's pushing as hard as he can. You see them flicking round, using all their body weight to get these bikes put on the side of their tyre before they head down the back straight. Will Slipstream be able to help Taylor Tomlinson here? I do not think it will. The gap's still pretty big. A couple of back markers still in the way there, but it didn't cause too much trouble for their front runners. Sebastian GASLAWSKI still leads the way with just 2 laps to go. Will Taylor Tomlinson be able to do anything? He's trying to take a wider sweeping line to carry more corner speed. He's pushing as hard as you can visually see it here in commentary box.
Yeah, absolutely. These two are certainly putting on a show for the win of this race. Is it side by side? It is. It's side by side. But who is going to come out of this battle on top? Let's see. This is absolutely incredible. Taylor Tomlinson setting the fastest lap on his last lap of a 1 minute, practically dead, 1 minute and 1/10 there, as we now see passing a few back markers here. He looks visually a lot closer than he was last lap, as we can see them coming through this section here, through the left, through the right, now onto Spitfire straight. It's looking like he might be able to set up a move here if he gets his foot down, or pedal down I should say. Let's have a look. No, I just don't think he's close enough. No, he's not. GASLAWSKI has managed to increase that gap ever so slightly, I say that, but there is a back marker in the way. Is this going to matter for Tomlinson? Oh, on the inside. No, he manages to take a really tight lap, as we have 1 lap to go. 1 lap to go until the last lap.
Sebastian GASLAWSKI still leads the way. He set the fastest lap of the race that time around with a 59.977. But this is a section that Taylor Tomlinson is faster than him at. He's going to be wanting to try and bridge any kind of gap that is there. Sebastian GASLAWSKI, though, still leads the way. It looks like the gap is pretty large. All Sebastian GASLAWSKI needs to do is pray that he does not get affected by back markers. It looks like Taylor Tomlinson went slightly wide, but they may carry slightly more speed into this left and then into the right. Will he be able to make a move? He's looking for a move, but that will affect his drive onto the straight. Sebastian GASLAWSKI still leads the way in the final straight on the final lap of the first race here at Llandow. Heading into the final corner, the gap is pretty large. Taylor Tomlinson looks like he's staying second, with Sebastian GASLAWSKI coming over the line to take the win, as we see a crash after the checkered flag. Taylor Tomlinson takes second place, as we hope that the rider is okay that's crashed after the checkered flag.
It's unfortunate to see that. It looks like the driver, the rider is managed to get up with the help of a few parents there. But yeah, what an absolutely incredible race there. I couldn't believe that race between GASLAWSKI and Tomlinson. Absolutely incredible. Really was. Oh, look at that respect, giving each other a little bit of a fist bump there. Absolutely lovely to see between these two drivers as they both talk about the race that they just had. What an absolute sensational race. They were wheel to toe. So it was GASLAWSKI that took the win. There we go, as that beautiful graphic comes up on screen. He wins by 8/10 from Taylor Tomlinson. Logan COUZENS finishes P3 on the podium. I bet that means a lot to him. Seth HAYWARD finishes P4. Preston BAKER P5. Archie HOOPER in P6. Nicolas DUNWOODY finishes P7. Tyler Hartley P8. Josh Perkins 9. And Kai HAWKEN rounds out the top 10. But we might as well go and finish the race of 21 riders. So P11, Annabelle McCARTHY. P12, Max Johnson. 13th, Caelan RATCLIFFE. Then in 14th, Jenson ANSELL. 15th, Matthew Jennings. 16th, Daisy POLDEN. In 17th, Peyton RICHARDS. 18th, Jenson SEDRAS. Then in 19th, Dani LONGHURST. 20th, Oliver Wilson. And rounding out the field is Freddy TAYLOR in the 118 machine.
Yeah, it was a great race there. Close battle. Logan Cousens will be happy with that third place. Logan Cousens, just 7-year-old, as I said earlier, on the number 7 bike. He's on a Blatta make of Minimoto, which is quite a popular make of Minimoto in this series. He's only been racing 2 rounds and he's got a podium. He will be absolutely buzzing. His best result before this was a 3rd as well, so he'll be delighted to equal that best result. This is where the riders start. From 6 years old, they can enter the AC40 Rookies, and some of these riders, it may only be the first ever race of their life, but most likely it'll be, I think, the 4th race of their life, with them racing in round 1 at Lid. But it's the stepping stone of many steps in the racing careers. This is where it all starts. This is where they learn how to ride a bike. This is where they learn how to get confidence. This is where they learn to race with people and get racecraft. It is where they learn literally almost everything. You can see on the grid right now the parents on the grid giving them a friendly face to look at, a final reminder of what to do with the lights. Remember not to jump the start, wait till the lights go out. As we see Taylor Tomlinson will start from 2nd place with Sebastian GASLAWSKI on the 64 bike on pole position for this race. But yesterday, these 2 riders had an amazing battle all the way throughout. It was incredible to see. I think everyone at home enjoyed this race. It was a great opening round of the championship to set off here at Llandow.
Yeah, absolutely. These riders are really, I think, excited. This is the first of the race 2s. So this is race 5. Absolutely fantastic to see these riders going around to the grid. Yeah, so fantastic. So let's do a rundown here. Sebastian GASLAWSKI takes pole position. Taylor Thompson alongside him on the front row. On the second row of the grid, we have Logan Cousens and Seth HAYWARD. Tyler Hartley starts P5 with Preston BAKER alongside him on the 3rd row. Then Archie HOOPER starts P7. Nicolas DUNWOODY starts P8. Josh Perkins P9, and rounding out the top 10 is HAWKEN. Annabelle McCARTHY starts P11. Max Johnson P12. Matthew Jennings P13. Caelan RATCLIFFE in P14. Jenson ANSELL starts P15, and Daisy POLDEN starts P16. Peyton RICHARDS starts P17 with Jenson SEDRAS in 18th. Oliver Wilson starts 19th, and Dani LONGHURST starts P20, and rounding out the final row of the grid is Freddy TAYLOR on his own. So, fantastic race here. What is going to happen in this race? Are we going to have 3 races in a row for last lap moves? Absolutely sensational. It really is going to be an interesting is going to be an interesting race. So let's have a look for these drivers. GASLAWSKI getting ready on pole there with the red and white bike with the blue helmet, alongside Taylor Tomlinson in the kind of orange and black leathers. Then P3, you see Logan Cousens there in the very nice white, bright fluoro yellow and blue bike with the matching leathers as well, with the white helmet. And then Seth HAYWARD in the number 15 with like a kind of a NASCAR style livery on the bike, which looks really cool. Obviously the bright fluoro yellow helmet is very interesting to watch. So watch for the first few rows. There is going to be a fantastic race. So ladies and gentlemen, here we go for round 5, race 5 of the AC40 Rookies Championship. Here we go, just waiting for the light to go red. There we go. So everybody watching the lights. And is it going to be a good race? I think so. Let's wait for the red light. There we go. Red light is on, and a little bit of a jump start there. And it's lights out and go. Fantastic start. A little bit of a jump start there from Taylor Thompson, potentially. And potentially a restart there, not too sure, as we see a great start from Taylor Thompson, obviously, because kind of a little jump start, and there is quite a few riders down, but they're all up immediately, which is just in the first corner. So all the riders up, which is good. There's bikes left, right, and centre on the track, but it's good nonetheless. So obviously Tomlinson kind of took the lead there. I think he just got a little bit too excited, potentially. No, I think that might have been GASLAWSKI actually. I'm not too sure who had the jump start. Yeah, I think it was GASLAWSKI that had the jump start, but. Yeah, a very, very interesting. So we're still looking round. Yes, so the session has been red flagged. So the session has been red flagged. So not really the best start to the race there, Lewis.
Yeah, it's not, but this is where it gets tricky for these riders. Of course, they have very little race experience, and now they need to go from the adrenaline of a race start to then calming down a little bit more as they wait to go on the grid and do it all over again. It's such a difficult thing to do, to be able to get refocused. So you see the riders fist bumping there, showing the respect to each other, enjoy the battle maybe in the first lap with each other. They're all friends in this class, they're all learning with each other. It's literally like school but better. All these riders will be loving life right now. They'll be loving their time, they'll be with their mates, they've been spending all weekend with them, but now they just need to settle down, get refocused, have a breather as we wait for this restart of the rookie race.
Yeah. So obviously a very interesting start there for this race. Obviously there is 21 riders in this championship though, so there's bound to be a little bit of drama every now and then as we see the riders looking at each other, having a little bit of a chat, maybe talking about what they had for breakfast or something like that, just trying to calm down and get their heads out of as Lewis said, trying to calm themselves down. But yeah, Lewis, you're a motorcycle rider, as we see a few waves there to the camera, which is lovely to see. But yeah, Lewis, you're a motorcycle rider. What's it like, especially on a first lap incident where something like this happens, then you have to calm down?
It's probably the worst thing that can happen. You're just so excited, your adrenaline's flowing right through your body, and then suddenly it's just, oh god, the red flag's out, you need to come back into the pit lane, your mindset goes in a complete utter different place, and it means on the restart the results from the first run of the race can be completely different, because some riders might be out of focus, they may not be up to speed, they may be unready for the restart. So we do not know yet if there'll be another warm-up lap. We'll just have to wait and see with that one. We should be able to tell with the marshals pointing up to the lights if we are going to go racing. As we wait for a few riders just to come round to the grid that got stopped further around the track whenever there was red flag. I believe some of them may have been also involved, so it's great to see that they're back out in the race. Preston Baker there lining up in 6th position. Of course, brother of Hartley Baker. You can tell with almost identical bikes, although Hartley does race in the Metro kits. It's the same livery on a smaller bike with, of course, a smaller rider on it as his younger brother. But we wait for this restart of this race. Sebastian GASLAWSKI winds up in pole position with Taylor Tomlinson in second place. Sebastian GASLAWSKI, just 6 years old, which is, it's great to see these riders with. As we see, they look up to the lights. We wait for the lights to go on. This will be the restart. Lights are on and lights are off for the AC40 Rookies. Great start by Taylor Tomlinson. Taylor Tomlinson leads the way to turn 1 with Sebastian GASLAWSKI in second place. Slotting in behind, I believe, is Seth HAYWARD as he get round the first section of this track, this fast and technical chicane. Sebastian GASLAWSKI is going to want to try and catch up as fast as he can to Taylor Tomlinson. Will we see a battle like yesterday, Alex?
I hope so, and I think the battles like today as well, with all the absolute drama we've had, potentially a last lap drama. This is why we love racing like this, because it is so close, so equal, and the only thing that matters is the riders and the riders' talent. Just shows just what the bikes can do. So yeah, Taylor Tomlinson takes the lead there from Sebastian GASLAWSKI. Seth HAYWARD in P3, Logan COUZENS in P4, Tyler Hartley in P5, Preston Baker in P6 as they all start coming down this Spitfire straight, which we love. And is there going to be a dive bomb for first place? No, there's not. Just a little bit too far back is GASLAWSKI. I say that, but he's trying to do the cutback on Taylor Tomlinson, but Tomlinson just is in the lead. He's trying to go on the inside, and there is a rider down.
But Seth HAYWARD still in third place. He'll be happy with that. But I believe this is a battle for fourth place right now between Preston Baker and Tyler Hartley. Preston Baker will not let this go up easily as we get past Seth HAYWARD. I believe that's Hartley Baker into third place. Preston Baker, is in third place. Hartley Baker, of course, is his brother. But Seth Hayward is going to be wanting to try and get that third place back from Preston Baker. As we go down to the final corner, it looks like he's made a move. Seth Hayward takes back third place before the line. It looks like Preston Baker ran slightly wide coming out that final corner, leaving the door open for Seth Hayward. And with just 4 laps to go in this race, what is going to happen as you see Sebastian GASLAWSKI has also set the fastest lap of the race with a 49 flat. That is an incredible lap there from him. He has bridged the gap by 9/10 that last lap from Taylor Tomlinson.
Yeah, absolutely. Another rider to watch at the moment is Annabelle McCARTHY. She's gone from P11 to P8 in this race so far. But yeah, this is a fantastic battle between Tomlinson and GASLAWSKI. Only second splits them now. But it is going to be a very, very interesting race again to see within these 4 laps that we now have left of this race as they go through the left-hander, the right-hander onto the back of the Spitfire straight. These drivers are all, the riders are very, very close together. I think, yeah, that's Seth Hayward trying to go for quite a defensive line there, but obviously he doesn't want to go too defensive because he needs to carry the speed through. You see Preston Baker trying a bit of a wider line to try and carry a bit more speed, but that is Tyler Hartley that is really, really pushing Preston Baker for 4th position there. Is he going to be able to make a move on this lap? He's very, very close. His front fairing is practically on Baker's rear wheel, so this is going to be a very, very interesting battle to see if he can make a move on the back of Preston Baker. So that is the number 15 Seth Hayward, currently in the podium position. So these 3 riders are now battling for a podium position. It's going to be very, very interesting to see who comes out on top, whether it's going to be Seth Hayward, Preston Baker or Tyler Hartley. All of them very, very, very close together, very equally matched as we see the number, I think it's 27, I think. No, it's Tomlinson, sorry, it's number 77. Sorry, the lighting was making it look a bit strange. Taylor Tomlinson, obviously in the lead. GASLAWSKI just crosses the line now as we now get the trio of Seth Hayward, Preston Baker and Tyler Hartley, all crossing the line together by just over a second. Splits them 3 riders.
Yeah, Taylor Thompson's still in the lead now. It's a 1.3 second gap, so Sebastian GASLAWSKI has put down that gap from Taylor Tomlinson, but the real battle seems to be for the final podium position right now. But Taylor Tomlinson will not care about that. His last lap was his actual personal best. Around 1 second faster than Sebastian GASLAWSKI. So GASLAWSKI might have just made a slight mistake there, as of course all these riders are still learning. As we have a look there at the number 12 Archie HOOPER in a battle with Nicolas DUNWOODY. So there's battles all the way throughout the field in this class. It's great to see so many up and coming talents. As mentioned earlier, this is where they start. This is where talents of the future are. As Taylor Tomlinson takes the last lap flag, there's traffic in front of him though, so how will he be able to navigate through this? He gets past 1 bike there on the final lap of this race. GASLAWSKI will also have to navigate through this traffic, so this race may not be over yet. Taylor Tomlinson goes round the outside of the back markers as he heads into his technical hairpin loop. Taylor Tomlinson comes round. He has a small loop behind him. We'll see that GASLAWSKI, there's a decent, substantial gap that all he needs to do is bring it home. Taylor Tomlinson, it's been a great ride, as has Sebastian GASLAWSKI. Both riders showing extreme confidence for these rookie riders that have very, very little experience, as we are on the final set to this track, going around with just 1 more corner to go. All their legs will be tucked in. Every single body part will be tucked in, trying to get as slipstream as possible, heading around the final corner of this race. It's been a superb race from Taylor Tomlinson as he takes the checker flag to win the race. So Sebastian GASLAWSKI closely behind in second, but who will get third place? As we wait and see, it will be Seth Hayward. Seth Hayward gets third place. He will be delighted with that, with Preston Baker in 4th and Tyler Hartley getting the 5th place. So that free battle for 3rd place will end just how it started, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic there. And I think, I'm not sure if Dunwoody managed to gain a place there on the last lap, but yeah, fantastic race there. We can see Taylor Thompson giving a little wave, there. Oh, that is one of the riders just stopping there on track, just going over the start finish flag there. So that was Max Johnson there in the number 141. So top 10 of that race. Taylor Tomlinson wins that race by just over a second from the back of Sebastian GASLAWSKI. Seth HAYWARD finishes in P3, the final podium position. Preston BAKER just behind that in P4. Tyler Hartley in P5. Nicolas DUNWOODY finishes in P6. Hooper starts in P7. Annabelle McCARTHY, a great ride from her, starts at P8. Logan COUZENS manages to get up in P9, and P10 is Josh Perkins. Yeah, a fantastic race there. You know, all the races we've had today have been absolutely incredible. Moves been made left, right, and centre on that race as we have got the riders coming back into the pit lane to get a bit of water, to get some refreshments before their next race a little bit later on in the day. So it's going to be a very interesting race, this next race, the AC40s. You know, we've got 21 riders, which is absolutely incredible to see. The ages for these AC40 rookies is 6 to 13 years old. You know, these bikes are powered by a 2-stroke air-cooled 40cc engine. These bikes are the kind of the least powerful of all of the mini motos, which means they have a 10mm exhaust restrictor, which is upgraded to 40mm in the AC40 Pro Championship. So riders that finish in the top 6 in this championship must move on to different classes in the following season. So it must mean that they must go to the AC40 Pro class or whichever. We've seen a lovely little fist bump between Sebastian GASLAWSKI and I think someone that he's gone with, which is absolutely lovely to see. We do have a message from Taylor Tomlinson, who does start on the front row, the number 77, to say happy birthday to Grandpa, who is in Crete at the moment, a lovely warm country in southern Greece. So I hope that Taylor's Grandpa is having a fantastic holiday and a lovely birthday. So as we see all these riders on the grid getting ready to go out for their warm-up laps. We're seeing all of them going out now, and it's absolutely lovely to see this. So starting on pole position is Sebastian GASLAWSKI, who has been performing fantastic this weekend alongside Taylor Tomlinson to complete the first row of the grid. Logan COUZENS starts P3 with Seth HAYWARD in P4. Tyler Hartley starts P5. Preston BAKER starts P6. Archie HOOPER starts P7 with Nicolas DUNWOODY starting P8. Josh Perkins starts P9 with HAWKEN rounding out the top 10. 11th is Annabelle McCARTHY starting P11 with Max Johnson starting in P12. Matthew Jennings is in P13 with Caelan RATCLIFFE in P14. Jenson ANSELL in P15 with Daisy POLDEN in P16. Peyton RICHARDS is P17 alongside Jenson SEDRAS, who starts P18. Oliver Wilson starts P19. Dani LONGHURST in P20, and the final rider on the grid is Freddy TAYLOR on the 11th row of the grid. Now this is a fantastic championship. You know, this is on the road to Moto GP and at BSB. So if obviously all of these riders want to be in Moto GP, and there is a lot of talent on this grid, which is fantastic to see, and I'm sure a lot of them will go on to do fantastic things in their racing careers. But that is in the future. We need to focus on the now and the present, and race 3 of the AC40 Rookie Championship. This is going to be a good race, I've got a feeling. So let's have a look. Let's wait for the final riders to join the grid. Then we'll get a thumbs up at the back of the grid, and then we'll get a point to the lights from the front of the grid, and that is when this race will start. It's looking like a very packed grid. It's a lovely day here in sunny southern Wales, and it's going to be an awesome race, I feel. So just waiting now for the thumbs up at the back of the grid. Is it going to go up any second? Hopefully sometime soon. There we go, we get the thumbs up. we then get a point to the lights. Let's have a look at this race. So the riders are ready. The red light is on, and it's lights out, and away we go for the young driver. Sebastian GASLAWSKI gets a good stop. I think that might just be Taylor Tomlinson who has taken the lead away from Sebastian, so that is going to get Sebastian a little bit, hopefully, pumping with adrenaline, so he can catch the number 77 bike of Taylor Tomlinson. Fantastic there. Seth HAYWARD currently in third position with a few very, very close bikes here. Oh, there was almost a very send on the inside there. So the current, I think, order off the line, Taylor Tomlinson obviously took the lead away from GASLAWSKI, but GASLAWSKI, if there's something we have seen in this championship, is he is a very, very, very fast rider, which we will see lots of in this race. I feel, there we go, look at all these riders. The top 5 are together, which is very, very nice to see with P6 and 7 here as they come down the Spitfire straight for the first time and the final time in this final event, as we see Taylor Tomlinson coming across the line from Sebastian GASLAWSKI, as we see Taylor Tomlinson obviously setting the fastest time in that race. So top 10 rundown, Taylor Tomlinson in the number 77 start is in P1, Sebastian GASLAWSKI is in P2, in P4, Seth HAYWARD starts is in P3, Logan COUZENS is in P4, Preston BAKER P5, obviously he's got the brother in the other series. Then Tyler Hartley is in P6, Archie HOOPER gaining a position there from Nicolas DUNWOODY, who moves down to P8, Josh Perkins in P9, and Annabelle McCARTHY up into the top 10. It's looking like a very good race, isn't it, Lewis?
Yeah, it certainly has. I mean, Taylor Tomlinson straight off the line got an amazing start, and Sebastian GASLAWSKI has a lot of ground to make up. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Sebastian GASLAWSKI is a very, very fast rider, but him and Taylor all weekend, there's been nothing really separating them. Race 1 was an amazing battle between the two. Race 3, it was a bit back and forward with their lap times, reducing and gaining a gap between the two. But this race is not over yet. There's still 6 laps to go. So much can happen in 6 laps in a motorcycle race. As we can see, back markers already getting into play. Now, back markers are a very, very key thing in this race. I mean, they can, as I said earlier, they can help you or they can go completely against you. You can lose half a second to a second just from 1 or 2 back markers getting in your way. But there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to have luck. Racing is luck sometimes. So Taylor Tomlinson still leads the way. That is not luck, that is pure talent. Same with Sebastian GASLAWSKI and Seth HAYWARD. There's so much young and up and coming talent in this class. It's so good to see British motorcycle racing so healthy, as we see Sebastian GASLAWSKI on our screen right now, with his best lap of a 1 minute flat as they head down the Spitfire straight, leading into the final corner on the 64 bike. It is Sebastian GASLAWSKI in the red and white. It's so distinct to see Taylor Tomlinson and Sebastian GASLAWSKI. It's so easy to tell the difference with Seth HAYWARD and Logan COUZENS on our screen right now, who is just 7-year-old, as are all these riders, really, really young. I mean, Sebastian GASLAWSKI is only 6 years old and he's going around the racetrack at 45 miles per hour. I don't know about you, Alex, but that is something that is special. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I couldn't even imagine this at 6 years old, you know, pounding around the racetrack at that age. It's absolutely incredible to see. I couldn't imagine it on 4 wheels, never mind on 2. As we see, we are obviously halfway through this race with 5 laps to go. Annabelle McCARTHY making some great progress up to P9 as Daisy POLDEN moves up into P14 as well. A great race for both of those riders. As we see Taylor Tomlinson, there we go. I think the gap between Sebastian GASLAWSKI is actually coming down a little bit as we see the gap or the battle between Seth HAYWARD and Logan COUZENS here. They are, I think, the closest battle on track at the moment with 3 tenths between them, which is absolutely nothing in terms of racing, especially when you're having a battle like this. As we are now seeing these 2 riders going through this very technical part of this racetrack. Yes, certainly. I mean, one thing that is great to see with these riders is just how their confidence is getting better over time. It's such a hard thing to get used to riding a motorcycle, and getting your knee down, it takes a lot of time for the riders to build up trust in themselves, the bike and their tyres. And this section that we're coming through here, going through the chicane, takes a lot of time to feel comfortable enough to flick a bike to the right, then straight away to the left, and back over to the right, only then to crack open full throttle down the straight, as we see all first 4 riders in our frame right now going down to the last corner, as we see that there's been as we see on our screen right now that there's just 3 laps to go. Taylor Tomlinson leads by just under half a second. So Seth Hayward is still in 3rd place right now. Seth Hayward is having an amazing ride. He is right on the back of these 2 right now. But Sebastian GASLAWSKI is saying this race is not over yet. There's 3 laps to go. He is pushing as hard as he can to catch up to Taylor Tomlinson.
Yeah, absolutely. Taylor Tomlinson driving a really good race so far, but the gap between the top 3 is only a second, which is a very, very interesting. Not too sure. Yeah, there's a few things going on. Yeah, red flag confirmed. Seeing that come out. So it was obviously Taylor Tomlinson and Sebastian GASLAWSKI in P1 and 2. Seth Hayward. Seth Hayward in 3rd there, as we see. We just see the riders stop in, as we see some really cool. Oh, that's a very cool helmet design. Not too sure which of that is, but it's a very, very cool helmet design, as both of them are talking to each other. I think they spotted that they're on camera, which is lovely. Yeah, so some really cool helmet designs between these riders, which is a really, really cool thing to see. Really cool thing to see, especially like the suits as well. You know, a lot of them do match the suits, which is very, very interesting. So just up until before the red flag, you know, it was a really interesting race. You know, we had a really good battle between the top 2, and obviously Seth Hayward and Logan COUZENS as well.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Sebastian GASLAWSKI was just starting to close the gap between Taylor Tomlinson. As Taylor Tomlinson does a little wave to the camera, you can see this smile underneath his helmet. He is so happy, as Sebastian GASLAWSKI and Seth Hayward are having a little conversation. They're all discussing about the race, what happened, what they thought of it, what the battles were like, anything that they weren't too happy about. But, you know, you can still see the smile under Taylor Tomlinson's helmet. That's so good to see. As Sebastian GASLAWSKI's dad, I believe, is just coming over to check them, giving them a few words, with Sebastian GASLAWSKI's lap being a 1 minute flat, which is pretty fast for these restricted motorcycles. But we wait and see, as we're still under red flag conditions right now. All the riders up having the conversation, some of them restarting their bikes now. They may be returning back to the pit lane, I would think, but just 3 laps to go, so we're just waiting to see if that will be a declared result. Right now we're just waiting to find that out, as the riders make their way back to the pits in one way, shape or form, but they're still talking right now outside of the track. I believe they're going back to the pit lane now, pushing their bikes back rather than getting them all started again, just to then stop it in the pit lane. So there's not really any point, but I believe we don't no official confirmation yet, but just 3 laps to go. This is how the standings look, with Taylor Tomlinson right now half a second in front of Sebastian GASLAWSKI in 2nd place, with Seth Hayward in 3rd, rounding out the podium positions. Logan COUZENS 4th. Preston Baker, as we said earlier, Harley Baker's brother, who's racing in the Mini GP 7, is in 5th. Archie HOOPER 6th. Nicolas DUNWOODY in 7th. Tyler Hartley in 8th. Annabelle McCARTHY 9th, and Josh Perkins rounds out the top 10. So yeah, that was a great race so far, as we wait to see if that will be declared a result. But yeah, great racing for all 3 races actually in the AC40 Rookies.
Yeah, definitely. So, GASLAWSKI obviously showing his very capable talent. And that is the amazing action here at Llandow. What an absolutely fantastic day of racing. Join us next time for round 3 at Ella Park. Thank you for watching.
On the road to MotoGP, this is FAB-Racing.